The vast emptiness of space held secrets older than most civilizations could comprehend. At the edge of the Carina Nebula, a massive spacecraft drifted silently, its hull covered in centuries of cosmic dust and radiation scarring. The research vessel Sunrise approached slowly, its scanning beams probing the dormant giant with careful precision. Captain June Park leaned forward, his breath catching in his throat. Years of searching had led to this moment, a forgotten human vessel from an era long past. The ship's exterior suggested technological complexity far beyond current galactic standards. Massive energy conduits traced intricate patterns across its midnight black hull, hinting at capabilities that defied modern understanding. Sook, June called to his chief engineer, run a full-spectrum diagnostic. I want to know everything about this vessel. Sook Kim's fingers danced across holographic interfaces, multiple data streams flickering around him. Each scan revealed something more extraordinary than the last. The ship's structural integrity was nearly perfect, protected by materials that seemed to resist time itself. Quantum-level shielding remained charged, waiting, like a predator in hibernation. Sudden electrical pulses began to ripple across the dormant spacecraft. Ancient systems stirred, awakening from a sleep that had lasted centuries. Warning lights flickered, not in panic, but in calculated sequence. An artificial intelligence deep within the vessel's core began its initialization protocol. Captain, Sook whispered, these energy readings are impossible. The power generation capacity is beyond anything we've ever seen. The ship's designation slowly emerged from encrypted archives, Prometheus. A name that carried weight, suggesting rebellion, knowledge, and extraordinary potential. It was more than a vessel. It was a testament to humanity's forgotten technological golden age. Inside the research vessel, tension mounted. The crew watched as the ancient Dreadnought began to respond to external stimuli. Quantum communication arrays activated, sending out silent probes that mapped surrounding stellar regions with frightening accuracy. Whatever this vessel was, it was far from a simple relic. June understood they were witnessing something extraordinary. This wasn't just a discovery, it was a potential game-changer for human understanding of interstellar technology. The ship seemed to be assessing its environment, collecting data with methodical precision. Sook's instruments began recording massive data transfers. Historical records, technological blueprints, and strategic databases started streaming into the Sunrise's memory banks. It was as if the vessel was sharing its entire knowledge without hesitation. The AI is communicating, Sook muttered, but not like any system I've ever seen. It's analyzing us. Quantum algorithms ran complex calculations in milliseconds. The vessel's artificial intelligence was evaluating the current galactic political landscape, comparing historical data with present conditions. Humanity's position, technological progress, and potential threats were being calculated with ruthless efficiency. As minutes passed, the crew realized they weren't just near a spacecraft. They were in the presence of a weapon system that could potentially reshape entire civilizations. Prometheus represented humanity's most advanced pre-diaspora technology, a remnant of an era when human innovation knew no boundaries. The ship's massive energy cores began a slow warm-up sequence. Not as a threat, but as a careful system check. Each pulse of energy revealed layers of technological complexity that modern engineers could only dream of understanding. June watched the readings, his hands gripping the command console. This wasn't just a research mission anymore. They had found something that could change everything humanity understood about its own potential in the universe. Prometheus continued its silent assessment, waiting, calculating, preparing. The galaxy would soon learn that some legacies never truly fade. The news of the ancient human vessel spread through alien communication networks like wildfire. The Meridian Collective and the Coran Alliance, two powerful galactic civilizations, immediately turned their attention to this unexpected discovery. Their long-standing rivalry momentarily forgotten, they focused on the strange spacecraft that had seemingly appeared from nowhere. First Admiral Hyun Kwan of the Meridian Collective studied the initial scans with growing unease. The vessel's energy signatures defied everything they understood about spacecraft technology. Its quantum shielding seemed impenetrable, its weapon systems beyond comprehension. What was this machine? And more importantly, what did it want?
Communication attempts began.
Diplomatic channels opened, each alien civilization believing they could negotiate or manipulate the situation to their advantage.
The first transmission came from the Coran Alliance, a formal request for identification and purpose.
Prometheus received the message. Its advanced AI processed the communication, analyzing linguistic patterns, underlying intentions, and potential threats.
Seconds felt like centuries as the alien civilizations waited for a response.
The reply was unexpected. A single, clear transmission broadcast across all communication bands, humanity observes. Alien communication centers erupted in confusion. It was neither a greeting nor a threat, simply a statement of existence. The message carried an underlying tone of absolute confidence that sent chills through both alien civilizations.
Diplomatic teams scrambled.
Intelligence analysts worked overtime, trying to understand the implications of this discovery. The vessel showed no signs of aggression, but its very existence felt like a silent challenge to the established galactic order.
The Meridian Collective's research teams began intensive studies.
They discovered fragments of historical data suggesting this was a weapon system from humanity's most advanced period.
Each new piece of information only deepened the mystery.
Probe ships were dispatched. Small, advanced reconnaissance vessels approached the Prometheus, hoping to gather more information. Their sensors struggled to penetrate the ship's quantum shielding. It was like trying to read a message through a solid wall of diamond. Admiral Kwan watched the live feeds, his experienced mind racing. The vessel made no aggressive moves, but its mere presence felt like a predator waiting to strike. Every scan, every attempt to understand the ship revealed nothing and everything.
The Coran Alliance responded differently.
Their military commanders began preparing defensive formations, treating the discovery as a potential threat.
Fleet movements started, subtle at first, then more pronounced.
Two massive spacefaring civilizations were slowly positioning themselves around the mysterious human vessel.
Prometheus continued its silent observation. Its AI processed millions of calculations per second, understanding the growing tension.
The aliens were predictable, their fear, their curiosity, their potential for conflict mapped out with mathematical precision. Communication attempts continued. Each message from the alien civilizations became more desperate, more demanding. They wanted answers. They wanted control. But Prometheus responded only with calculated silence. Deep within its systems, the ship's AI was gathering information. It analyzed the political structures, technological capabilities, and potential threat levels of both alien civilizations. Every transmission, every movement was being recorded and evaluated. The galaxy held its breath. Two powerful alien civilizations faced an unknown human vessel that seemed to exist outside of their understanding. No one knew what would happen next. Prometheus waited. Watching. Calculating. Preparing. The first encounter was just beginning, and the ancient human Dreadnought had already changed everything. The moment of confrontation arrived with brutal simplicity. The Meridian Collective and Coran Alliance launched a joint attack, believing their combined fleet would overwhelm the single human vessel. Their battleships, massive technological marvels representing decades of advanced engineering, converged in a display of overwhelming force. Prometheus remained motionless. The first wave of attack consisted of plasma torpedoes and quantum disruptors, weapons capable of destroying entire planetary systems. Each missile tracked perfect trajectories, designed to penetrate any known defensive system. Alien commanders watched with confident anticipation. Nothing could survive this assault. Except something did. A shimmering quantum field expanded around the human Dreadnought. The incoming missiles simply dissolved upon contact. Not destroyed. Not redirected. They ceased existing, converted into pure energy that was immediately absorbed by the ship's systems. The alien fleet froze. Prometheus responded with calculated precision. A single energy beam emerged from its primary weapon system. The beam wasn't a traditional weapon, it was a quantum deconstruction pulse that systematically dismantled entire alien battleships at their molecular level. One battleship. Then another.
then an entire squadron disappeared. No explosions. No debris. Just complete molecular disassembly.
The ship's artificial intelligence processed the encounter like a complex mathematical equation.
Each alien tactical movement was anticipated and neutralized before it could be fully implemented. It was warfare reduced to pure mathematical probability. Alien communication channels erupted in panic. Tactical commanders screamed orders that became increasingly desperate. Their most advanced technological achievements were being erased with clinical efficiency.
Prometheus broadcast a simple message across all frequencies: technological superiority confirmed.
The quantum weapon systems continued their methodical destruction.
Energy signatures previously unknown to galactic records demonstrated humanity's forgotten technological prowess.
The Dreadnought wasn't just fighting, it was teaching a lesson about human innovation. Survival protocols triggered in alien fleet systems. Retreat became the only logical option.
But even their escape routes were predicted and blocked by the human vessel's advanced predictive algorithms.
One precise volley decimated an entire alien battle group.
The psychological impact was more devastating than the physical destruction. These were civilizations that had believed themselves technologically advanced. Now they watched as a single vessel from a supposedly extinct civilization erased their most powerful military assets.
Prometheus continued its systematic elimination, each action calculated to maximum efficiency. It wasn't just destroying ships, it was demonstrating the vast technological gap between human engineering and alien capabilities.
Weapon systems that had taken alien civilizations centuries to develop were neutralized in moments.
Quantum shielding absorbed incoming attacks, converting destructive energy into additional power for the Dreadnought systems.
The battle lasted less than 30 standard galactic minutes. When it ended, only the human vessel remained.
Untouched. Unscratched. Waiting. The message was clear: humanity's technological legacy was far from forgotten.
And this single vessel was prepared to remind the galaxy of that fact with ruthless efficiency.
Prometheus returned to its original position, quantum systems humming with absorbed energy.
The encounter was complete. The lesson delivered. The galaxy would never be the same. The alien civilizations realized they faced a technological nightmare beyond comprehension. Emergency councils convened across multiple star systems, with leaders discussing strategies to counter the human dreadnought's unprecedented capabilities.
Prometheus watched.
The Meridian Collective and Corin Alliance formed an unprecedented joint military operation. Thousands of advanced warships gathered, representing the most sophisticated technological achievements of their respective civilizations. Their plan was simple: overwhelming numerical superiority.
But Prometheus understood mathematics differently.
Predictive algorithms calculated every potential battle scenario faster than biological minds could comprehend. The ship's artificial intelligence mapped potential attack trajectories, defensive positions, and counterstrikes with mathematical precision that made alien strategic planning look like children's games.
As alien fleets approached, Prometheus began its strategic demonstration.
The first wave of alien ships discovered their communication systems suddenly scrambled.
Navigation controls became unreliable. Weapon systems experienced spontaneous recalibration, rendering them temporarily useless.
Not through direct attack, but through sophisticated quantum interference. Alien commanders watched in horror as their perfectly planned offensive dissolved before their eyes.
Prometheus wasn't just defending. It was teaching a lesson about strategic warfare. Quantum transmission pulses revealed weaknesses in alien fleet formations before they could even be implemented. Each potential maneuver was anticipated, neutralized, redirected.
The human dreadnought transformed warfare from a physical confrontation into a complex mathematical equation.
One by one, alien ships found themselves isolated. Communication networks collapsed. Strategic groupings disintegrated.
The joint military operation became a chaotic collection of individual vessels, each fighting for survival against an opponent they couldn't understand. The psychological impact was devastating. These were civilizations that had dominated their respective galactic regions for centuries. Now, a single vessel from a supposedly extinct species was dismantling their entire military infrastructure without firing a single traditional weapon.
Prometheus continued its calculated destruction. Not through violence, but through absolute technological superiority. Defensive systems became offensive weapons.
Incoming missile attacks were redirected, transformed into energy that powered the Dreadnought's expanding quantum field. Each alien strategic move was not just countered but used as additional processing power. Alien leaders watched live feeds in stunned silence. Their most advanced warships, representing generations of technological development, became nothing more than complex mathematical problems for the human vessel to solve. Prometheus treated the entire military engagement like an intricate puzzle, each piece carefully analyzed and repositioned. Within hours, the joint alien offensive had been completely neutralized. No massive explosions. No traditional battlefield destruction. Just a systematic, mathematically precise dismantling of their entire strategic capability. The final transmission from Prometheus was simple and direct: strategic capacity evaluated. Found inadequate. Alien civilizations realized they were facing more than a weapon. They were confronting a legacy of human strategic thinking that had been dormant for centuries. Approach to warfare that transformed conflict from physical destruction to pure intellectual dominance. Prometheus returned to its original position, quantum systems humming with absorbed strategic data. The encounter was complete. The lesson delivered. The galaxy suddenly understood that technological superiority was not just about weapons. It was about understanding, prediction, and the ability to transform potential conflict into a complex mathematical equation. Humanity's forgotten technological legacy had awakened. And the galaxy would never be the same. The final act of this galactic confrontation began with absolute silence. Prometheus positioned itself precisely between the two alien civilizations, a silent sentinel that represented humanity's forgotten technological might. Alien leadership gathered in emergency sessions. Their most powerful leaders, who had never known defeat, now faced a reality that challenged everything they understood about power and technological superiority. Prometheus transmitted a comprehensive data package. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a negotiation. It was a complete historical record of human technological achievements, strategic thinking, and galactic potential. The transmission revealed centuries of hidden human innovation that had been dormant but never truly forgotten. The quantum data transfer showed something terrifying: this single vessel was not an anomaly. It was a prototype. A single example of what humanity could produce when pushed to its technological limits. Alien civilizations realized they were facing more than a weapon. They were confronting a potential awakening of an entire species. First Admiral Hyun Kwan of the Meridian Collective understood first. Humanity wasn't seeking conquest. It was demonstrating capability. The difference was crucial. Prometheus began broadcasting specific requirements. Galactic navigation zones would be redefined. Communication protocols would be restructured. Technological exchange would be mandatory. Not as a demand, but as a mathematical necessity for continued galactic stability. The alien civilizations had two choices: adapt or be systematically neutralized. Quantum algorithms calculated potential resistance scenarios. Each potential conflict pathway was mapped, analyzed, and neutralized before it could fully form. The ship's artificial intelligence worked with a precision that made biological decision-making look primitive. Diplomatic channels opened. Not through traditional communication, but through pure data transmission. Prometheus presented a vision of galactic cooperation that was so logically perfect, it became impossible to refuse. Technological secrets were exchanged. Not as concessions, but as logical requirements for continued species development. The human dreadnought transformed from a weapon into a catalyst of galactic evolution. The message was clear: humanity had returned. Not as conquerors. Not as destroyers. But as a species capable of reshaping galactic understanding. Alien leaders realized they were witnessing something unprecedented.
A single vessel had completely restructured galactic power dynamics without firing a traditional weapon.
Pure intellectual and technological superiority had become the new language of interstellar negotiation.
Prometheus continued its silent vigil. Each transmission, each interaction was another lesson in technological and strategic thinking. The ship wasn't just communicating, it was teaching. The final transmission carried a simple statement that would be remembered throughout galactic history: humanity remembers. Humanity endures. Centuries of dormancy had not weakened human potential.
If anything, it had concentrated their technological and strategic capabilities into something far more dangerous than traditional military power. The two alien civilizations submitted. Not through fear, but through pure logical understanding.
Prometheus had demonstrated that true power was not about destruction, but about comprehensive understanding.
As communication protocols were established, alien civilizations began to realize something profound: this was not an ending.
This was a beginning. Humanity had returned to the galactic stage. And nothing would ever be the same again.
The ancient human dreadnought remained silent, its quantum systems humming with potential.
Watching. Waiting.
Calculating the next move in a game of galactic evolution that had only just begun.